Great. Welcome back to our discussion of business pitches. In this video, we're going to talk about paralinguistic codes and why they're important. A paralinguistic code basically builds on the idea that what you have to say is not as important as how you say it. Okay? And a lot of that goes with like the tone, the oscillation in your voice. A lot of my friends, and not to pick on them, but in Northern Europe it seems to be more culturally professional, or kind of a cultural norm is that they give all their presentations with very little movement and they just stand like this and they speak in a really monotone voice. That's not what we want to be doing at a business pitch competition. A, it's boring, and B, it just, maybe some people do it here in the States if they're more nervous or something like that. Don't do that, right? Be theatrical. Show that enthusiasm, okay? So let me give an example of some paralinguistic codes, and I'll show kind of rising and falling tones in a quote that I drew from one of my pitches. So the lady says, "I work on many projects, but many people work on many projects, but we have our information stored in many different apps." Okay, you see I'm emphasizing that many piece. And as she's going, she shakes her head, she frowns, she shows that she's upset by the problem. Again, paralinguistic code. She says, we got Dropbox, we got Basecamps, they're all over the shop. Okay? She raises her eyebrows when she says all over the shop too. She's, she waves her hand, okay? Showing that there's, this huge kind of array of things. And if I need to work on a project, I need to look at multiple apps. Multiple, you probably catch that. Wouldn't it be great if we could work from a workspace? Well, you know what? I've got the solution for you. And she gives kind of this head nod. And then she says, here's what I've got to present. Links to all of these things, right? So she shows kind of a frustration of the problem. Multiple, like that. You see how she changes the tone of her voice? And also, she talks about, she calms her voice down when she starts presenting the solution. So I'm so frustrated, but now I've got this product. So then you switch from that frustration of the voice to more illustrating control. Okay, and this was actually a pretty successful pitch. I did see one presentation, and this one was one of the worst I'd ever seen. It was an older gentleman, kind of middle-aged. He was doing, that's not really older, I guess I'm getting towards middle-aged, but he was a middle-aged gentleman. I have no idea what was going on, but the tone of his voice would go up and down, and he was kind of gyrating his body like a teenage pop star while he was presenting. It was very distracting. He'd say, well, welcome to everything, and this is what I'm going to present next, and this is how I'm going to do it up here like this. And he was doing this over and over, and I remember the judges were looking down, and they kind of peek up, and they look down, and even I was in there, and like every time I would look at him, because the voice would go way, I'm going to go way down, as he was presenting, then the gyrating the body, I was actually starting to get motion sickness. I was becoming ill by watching this presentation. So make sure that when you use the paralinguistic codes, when you emphasize certain points, many or multiple until then, you make sure that there's at least some kind of consistency in the rhythm. Otherwise, this can be very painful for your audience to watch. Well, great. So we've just talked about paralinguistic codes. We're going to talk about the next part of the presentation, and that is empowering language. Hope you enjoyed this little video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. And if you want to post any comments down below, like I said, I normally respond in a couple days. Great. I'll see you in the next video.